Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 10, and right now we are over on the Winter Wonderland island, and we're actually over here not to do any building on this island but to listen to the sounds of the island. So if I just stop talking for half a second, you'll hear the ambient noise of this island. And you hear just how kind of creepy and slow this is. So what I'm actually doing over here is I am planning on building a brand new section of the Wastelands and building out a brand new Wasteland set. But I wanted to try and work out what type of island was going to be best to do the Wasteland. So today there is an island just like this one on sale at the Island Trader. And by this one I mean a brown-stoned winter island, ice island, winter. Yeah, so there's a brown-stoned ice island sitting in the trader today, and the big thing for me is twofold. A, that it's got brown stone in underneath the ground so that I can carve out all sorts of caves and interesting bits and pieces out of natural stone, because of course I can't place natural stone yet, so I have to make do with what I've got. And also the music, because the music is going to make up kind of the ambience of this thing. So the last one was made in a desert because the desert had some pretty interesting sounds. It had some kind of thundering music going on, which was really cool. So this time round, what I'm thinking is I'm going to try and do it in an ice world, because these guys have like kind of wind sounds and a little bit more ominous music, I feel. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and build it in a world like this and see what happens. But of course, the very first thing we need to do for today is go ahead and buy that ice island. Then we're going to crack out the Earthshaper Gauntlet and absolutely demolish the top of the island. I'm going to drag it all the way back to the raw natural stone, and of course this time round that task is going to be so much easier than it has ever been before. So here we are with Myriad, the well-traveled. Myriad is probably one of my favorite vendors here in the city, just because I love getting new islands and doing interesting things on them. So here we go, we're going to talk to Myriad. Obviously just pop open the shop, and as you can see we have an ice palace, Bleak Forge Peaks. That's the name of this palette, and it's perfect because as you can see right down the bottom of that little thing, down the bottom there, it says likely to contain snow, brown stone, brown trees, and a blue sky. So the blue sky is not quite perfect. The last one of these that I had, I think, has like a brown sky or a green sky. So it's not exactly ideal, but the key components are there, and that is the ice biome for the kind of weird sounds that we were getting before, and obviously the brown stone that I wanted before. Yeah, here we go. This guy, I'm pretty sure, is what I built the last version of the Wastelands on top of. It was some form of like weird desert thing with blue sand and brown stone, something along those lines. Anyway, like I said, we're going to go for the ice biome this time around, so let's buy this guy up. I do have enough money for that. Perfect. And now we're going to go ahead, crack this guy open, and head over there and see what we get with the creation of this brand new island. And here we go, we have our brand new ice island. Interestingly, there doesn't seem to be a lot of floating islands around here. It seems to be pretty bare in that department, but here is what we were after. We have a whole bunch of brownstone in underneath the island. That's going to make for some very nice cave systems as we go through and keep building this guy up. And yeah, not a whole lot else to be seen around here. We have some penguins. Hopefully by removing all of the snow, those guys will start despawning and not continue to spawn around here, because that would be a little bit annoying. Like I said, we don't really want them as we continue on through here. Also, like I said, got brown trees and the brown stone. So I'm going to go through, I think, and we're going to try and take out all of the snow with the Earthshaper Gauntlet. Whoops, that's block place of boots. That's not what I wanted. There we go. I also don't know if the bug has been fixed in this Earthshaper Gauntlet yet or not, but we will have a quick look at that at some other point. So I'm going to go through here, do the kind of first layer of snow, get rid of all of this stuff, and then I'll start looking at kind of removing other things, including the castle and bits and pieces. Now I'm just going to quickly do a little bit of this on camera because this is really, really quick and easy to do. Bam! Just like that. So I'm actually probably going to need to grab some bigger chests because I have a feeling I'm going to get a lot of snow out of this build that I don't really have any use for. Also, I probably should point out at the end of this video there is going to be a key to get instant access to SkySaga. So if you don't have access to SkySaga yet, hang around right till the end of the video and there is a key posted in my little end card down there at the end of the video, which will give you instant access to play SkySaga. So stick around and check that one out. Anyway, for now, I'm going to go through, I'm going to start demolishing some bits and pieces. We'll have a quick progress update once I have gone through and done some of that. Although I think the first thing I need to do in terms of demolishing is start going through and removing some of these furnishing pieces from here, because of course those won't break if we go through and demolish them. In actual fact, let's just give that a quick try. So I'm going to pick up this pillar, but I'm going to break out this pillar and we'll see what happens. So if I just do that and go bang, yeah, there you go, that pillar absolutely gets demolished. So if I want to keep any of the bits from around here, I probably should go through and empty this out of decor before we go through and smash it to pieces. So this little palace is now at least mostly clean of other decor and all that kind of stuff. So if we have a quick look in the inventory, I've seen, I've got a whole bunch of different bone piles and things, which is really good because those are going to come in handy for the wastelands. I saved up some at the end of the last alpha on a storage island, but I'm not quite sure how many I actually managed to save up. So it's going to be good to have a few of those ones that I've just picked up to use there as well. But now, of course, it is going to be time to take this guy down piece by piece. So what we're probably going to do is come up here. We're going to have to get rid of this gigantic castle in 1 and 2 and 3. Ah, check this out! Oh man, the Earthshaper Gauntlet is just absolutely amazing. It does really, really great work. It has made very, very short work of that entire palace. It's just gone. It's really, really cool. And as you can see, my inventory is starting to fill up really quickly. I have so much white stone now. I don't think I am ever going to need white stone again this alpha. I may even save some of that over in the next alpha if we get a chance, which would mean that we probably won't need white stone in that alpha as well. Although I have some plans already for next alpha, so maybe we'll burn through all of that, maybe we won't. Like I said, got a few ideas ticking around, so we'll have to see what we decide to get up to when we go through and do that. So now that I've knocked out the palace, I think the next trick here is to go through and start knocking out the snow and the trees. Those are going to take me a little bit longer, I think, because they're not nice blocky shapes that I can get rid of. And of course, while we're going through and knocking out the snow and the trees, I'll remove kind of the last little remnants of the castle or palace or whatever it was. As you can see, there's still a couple of layers of stone here. Hopefully not too many before, yeah, there we go. We've got snow and then a nice block down underneath there, which is a brownstone block. So that's perfect. It seems as though the island is a couple of layers thick with snow, which is not really ideal. As you can see here, it's 3 layers thick with snow. So that's not really ideal because it cuts down on the amount of brown stone that I have. But that's alright. We'll have to work with what we've got, and we've also got a few nice little rocky outcrops and things that I'll be able to do some work with. So it's not all bad. It's just going to be a little bit more work, and it's going to mean I'm going to have some more snow in storage than I ever intended on having. But that's okay. Like I said, we'll get to work. We'll start mowing this island down and getting rid of all the things that we don't want and keeping hold of those that we do. So here we go. Things are starting to look a lot more flat now, and this is really good. As you can see, we've started to uncover some of this natural brown stone, and interestingly enough, it's actually coming up in kind of weird patterns that I hadn't seen before. Last time I did this, I just did this with pickaxes of demolition and found that by hovering just at the right spot above the ground and then kind of continuously firing the pickaxes and moving side to side, you could flatten an area pretty quickly and pretty easily. But this time around, because I'm kind of able to use the Earthshaper Gauntlet, I can peel off one layer at a time and reveal where all of the natural stone is actually sitting, which means that I can get this to look a lot more natural now, because I can take the randomly generated pieces of stone and bits and pieces and leave them in place, which is going to be really, really cool, because then I can use those to kind of form gravel over top, and we'll end up with a bit of an interesting looking surface area. So yeah, this is good. I really, really love this Earthshaper Gauntlet. It is going really, really well. And as you can see, I have so much snow going on in my backpack right now. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But it's going, like I said, it's going well. It is working out amazingly. And I'm finding that there's actually a couple of quick tricks to using this Earthshaper Gauntlet really, really quickly. So the first one is kind of sort of what I showed you there. If you're looking down and click it, it seems to be that that's where you get the two things going along these two axes, so kind of the X and Y axis. And then if you look kind of to the horizon, that maxes out the area that it's going to click into. And then if you click that and look straight up, go inside and look straight up, that maxes out that area that it's going to use. So there's a couple of kind of quick ways of maxing the area out, especially when you're trying to knock out a big flat section like I'm doing. It's pretty easy to do this pretty quickly and knock out huge swaths of land in not much time at all. The only thing is you do need to give the gauntlet just a second or so to actually catch up with your clicks to make sure that it does actually do the things you want it to do. But it's pretty fast on the whole. As you can see, we're starting to reveal more and more of this natural brown stone, which is really cool. There's a little bit of stuff I have to do kind of manually, I guess, around these extra big outcrops, these brown outcrops over here, because of course I want to keep these in place. Probably going to have gravel between some of my natural stone and these guys, because these are, if you have a look under here, just kind of floating out on their own, not doing anything, or not attached to anything, which is kind of annoying, but that's okay. We'll get them sorted out once we actually have the gravel and stuff going down on this island. But for now, we're going through and we're flattening this thing out. We'll try the next layer down. I think is going to be the bigger, trickier one, because I'm not going to be able to just like take out huge chunks of snow anymore. I'm going to have to be careful with what I'm doing so that I don't mess up any of this natural stone. So let's get working on that. So we are getting super close to the end of tidying up all of the snow on this island. As you can see, I've kind of knocked it down to the very last layers of snow and taken out as much as I can with the Earthshaper Gauntlet, or at least as much as I can relatively easy with the Earthshaper Gauntlet. There's still some patches, like this one over here, I could do a little bit more on, but I just had a quick trip home to pick up these. These are the original pickaxes I built before moving over to the long-range pickaxes, and I'm using these because they do break snow in one hit, but they also break stone in 2 hits, which means that I can run around here and I can just like start harvesting up all of this snow, and I know that if I do accidentally misclick, I'm not going to destroy the stone. So it's going to be a lot easier for me to leave the natural stone in place using these pickaxes than attempting to use the long-range pickaxes, because of course a miss with the long-range pickaxes means that not only could a block close to me, but a block very far away could also just kind of disappear out of the ground here. And I'm completely not opposed to that, but I kind of want to have a bit more control over what's going on, and I really actually like to see this place without having any snow on it, and as natural as I can keep it, and we'll see what it looks like at that point. So I've got this last little piece of snow to do. As you can see, I just have snow everywhere in my rucksack. There is so much snow that has come off one of these islands. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I kind of expected that from the get-go here. There was always going to be masses of snow coming out of this thing. Look at that. Wow. 4 whole rows of the rucksack completely full of snow. That's That's just utterly ridiculous. But we've still got more to go, and I'm expecting at least another stack out of all of the snow that we have down around the place. So let's harvest all that up. Okay, so here we go. The last tiny little piece of snow is about to come out of this area, which is all good. So now that we've got this done, I actually need to do a little bit of planning. So I have an idea for the main adventure in this world, because of course that is what this is going to be. It's going to be another Wastelands adventure for you guys to come and explore. And basically the reason we're doing another Wastelands is the new magma blocks. I want to get those magma blocks and do something absolutely spectacular with them. So that is what this is going to be all about. It's going to be showing off those magma blocks to the absolute, like, maximum extent that I can possibly do that, or at least that I can possibly think of doing that right now, because they work so amazing in that chasm in the other Wastelands that I absolutely need to go through and place down magma blocks in another build as soon as possible. So that is what we're doing here. We're going to build up a brand new Wastelands. I do have some gravel left over. I don't think I have enough gravel to do all of this new world, but it will be enough to kind of get a good start anyway. And as you can see, now that we've got this nice big flat section of brown stone, we are well on our way to starting on a brand new Wastelands. I also want to just quickly point out how interesting the mini-map is. We're going to quickly fly into the middle of all of this and have a quick look at the mini-map, because the mini-map shows off the kind of random splotches of brown stone that get spawned around the place. It's kind of interesting to see how the algorithm works, or I mean, I guess it's seeing how the algorithm works. It's seeing the outcome of that algorithm and how that's all come down. Because obviously, this thing was yeah, a lot different looking when we were looking at the actual snow layer, or a couple of layers of snow. It's very interesting to see quite that difference in randomness, I guess. So yeah, there we go. This, I think, is unfortunately going to be it for this week, because I have a lot of planning to do now to go ahead and get the rest of this build plotted out so that we can start work on that next week. I'm also going to need a whole bunch of either black stone or black glass, but I haven't quite made the decision on that yet. There's going to be something very, very big made in black in the center of this thing, and yeah, we're going to go from there pretty much. But once again, that is something that I need to plan out and plot out, and then we'll have a look at that when we come back next week. So there you go. This has been a bit of a quick build episode, but I am now excited. We have ourselves a starting point for a brand new Wastelands, and with the new tools that we have here in Alpha 10, I am sure that this Wastelands is going to come together a whole lot faster than the old one did. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.